Hey class, in today's lesson we're going to talk about adding and subtracting rational expressions, which is found in section 8-5, part 2 of your book. We're going to add and subtract rational expressions. Alright, so our first example, we're going to try to simplify complex fractions. First, what you need to understand is that we have a fraction being divided by another fraction. So since that's the case, we're going to rewrite this and divide it by this one here. So what that'll look like is 1 over x plus xy, or x over y, divided by 1 over y plus 1. Okay? So first, in dealing with these expressions, let's deal with each set of parentheses, not necessarily separately, but yes, also separately. Okay, so we need to look for a common denominator of all of them. First, let's make this 1 a fraction as 1 over 1. Okay, the least common denominator of all the denominators we see are x and y. So we can essentially, our least common denominator for all of it is going to be xy. So we essentially need to be sure that every denominator is xy by multiplying by what it's missing. So for this one, I'm going to multiply by y. This one I'm going to multiply by x. This one I'm going to multiply by x. And this one I'm going to multiply by x and y. Alright, so when I do that, I will get y for the first one over xy plus x squared over xy. Okay, that's the first one, divided by x over xy plus xy over xy. Okay, now that all the denominators are the same, let's go ahead and simplify that one step further and just add. So that's x squared plus y over xy divided by, that's a division sign, divided by x plus xy over xy. Okay, now the last thing, almost the last thing that we need to do, now that it's division, we're going to go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal. So that means I need to flip this one. Alright, so let me rewrite. I still have this first fraction here. So that's going to be x squared plus y over xy. And it's now being multiplied by this one flipped over, which is xy over x plus xy. Alright, I see a common factor of xy for both. And so that leaves me with x squared plus y over x plus xy. And this is almost factored except for this denominator. So our final answer should be x squared plus y over x times 1 plus y. And that is our final answer. Alright, so let me just recap. The very first thing you need to do, like I said, is separate them, make them horizontal. Vertically stacking them really confuses people, so write them horizontally, and then once you write them horizontally, find your least common denominator. Once you decide what your least common denominator is, multiply the fractions by what they're missing in the denominator to both the numerator and the denominator. Rewrite them, right, like we did here. And then once you have combined your numerators, then it is time to flip, okay, with the reciprocal. Okay, and then you start looking for common factors, and then finally the simplest form. So let's look at our try. Okay, we have a numerator being divided by a denominator. Okay, so this is really x divided by 1 over x plus 1 over y. Okay, remember I really need to put that over 1. Alright, so now if I look at this, I can still see that my least common denominator is the same. It's still xy. Okay, so I need to multiply everything by what it's missing. This first one is missing an xy for its denominator. This one is just missing a y. This one is just missing an x. Alright, so if we keep going, that will give us I'm going to put it right here. That will give us x squared y over xy divided by, in parentheses, y over xy plus x over xy. Okay, I want to combine the parentheses for that one. So when I do that, this will still be x squared y over xy divided by x plus y over xy. Okay, now again, because this is division, right, I need to go ahead and flip this second one. So it becomes x squared y over xy times xy over x plus y. Okay, I can clearly see that xy is a common factor. It's gone. And so I'm left with x squared y over x plus y. And that is our most factored form, so our simplest form. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, again, we should recognize there's a numerator being divided by a denominator. So let's stack them next to one another. So this is going to be 3x. In fact, maybe I shouldn't make it so big. Okay, so 3x minus 1 over y divided by y squared over x plus x. Okay, and again, we need to put everything over 1. All right, look at your denominators. Once again, very obvious. Your least common denominator is xy. Okay, so we're going to multiply everything by what it's missing. This one is missing an xy. This one is missing, okay. This one is missing an x. This one is missing a y, and this one is missing an xy. Alright, so moving on from there, that will give us 3x squared y over xy minus xy, nope, that's not xy, that's just x for the numerator, over xy. That's the first one. Divided by y cubed over xy plus x squared y over xy. Now combine those fractions, okay? If we combine, we will get 3x squared y minus x over xy divided by y cubed plus x squared y over xy. Okay, remember now we got to flip. So when we flip, we will get 3x squared y minus x over xy times xy over y cubed plus x squared y. Once again, xy is going to cancel. And let's try and factor if we can. So if we factor in the numerator of this first one, well, first of all, let's put them together. So if I put them together, we will get 3x squared y minus x over y cubed plus x squared y. I notice in the first fraction I have a common greatest common factor of x. I'm going to take out an x, and that leaves me with 3xy minus 1. And for the denominator, I notice my greatest common factor there is y. And so that'll leave me with y squared plus x squared. All right, and that's our final answer. All right, actually, guys, we are done. If you have any questions, be sure to check with me for tutoring.